Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to my LEGO reviews. This time we'll be reviewing set number 71704, Kai's Fighter, released on August 15th, 2020. It came with 513 pieces and 4 minifigures. Let's start, as always, with the pieces. Gathered into 4 bags, there are not that many really particularly noteworthy pieces. I like the windshield. There are a lot of wing pieces and some small purple pieces that are fine. This is a healthy group of swords, but overall, unlike some other sets, the pieces themselves are not that particularly notable. However, what they build is, but we'll get to that. Oh, and there is a single sticker sheet, but the stickers are not really that troublesome, with one being for the villains and the rest being for Kai's Fighter. They do improve the set in some ways, and they're not excessive, but if they really bother you, you can pretty much leave them off and it won't harm the set overall. Now, let's start with the minifigures. From left to right, we have Legacy Lloyd, Legacy Kai, and a pair of Legacy Nindroid Warriors. As always, let us start with the heroes of the set. Now, technically, the term for the heroes is Legacy Sleeveless, but since these are clearly based off the techno robes and just the term Legacy Sleeveless is so technical as to be pretty useful, I will be referring to them as such for the remainder of the video. Yes, it's not technically accurate, but neither is the term square, which is more technically called a four-sided two-dimensional object with sides of equal length. Just because something's technical doesn't mean it's superior, and I think the term Legacy Techno is far more accurate for what these minifigures are trying to be, especially considering that this is based on a rebooted set. Techno Lloyd here is a nice reimagining of the original techno robes from the rebooted wave. Starting with the head, he has the nice Lloyd hair and blonde, the face print with green eyes. One face has the happy/cocky smile, and the other is an annoyed grimace. Of course, you can't really see this due to the green bandana, which is an okay piece, but you can take it off if you really want to see the expressions more. The torso print is pretty well detailed. There's the sand green underrobes, the black sashes with golden markings of Ninjagen letters, and a subtle ninja phrase, which is correctly spelled now. Apparently it was misspelled in the original release. The back print is a larger dragon print with more details. Also, another interesting little thing is that there's a subtle dragon on the front. Overall, this is an extremely well done torso print, and yes, just so we're clear, Lloyd lacks sleeves. He has yellow arms, but I still don't know why they gave the minifigure that name. It's not really all that important. Lloyd's leg print is well done with the multiple belts and wraps. For weaponry, he wields a pair of silver katanas that are rather generic. Now let's go over Kai, the head guy of the set. Kai Legacy has the same wildly exaggerated hair that the movie gave him, the same overused face print. One side a cocky smile, the other a serious frown. He has the red bandana, of course, and the torso print is pretty similar to Lloyd's, with only some mild differences. Firstly, the robes are obviously dark red and red. Different colors, understandable. On the robe, there is a different symbol on the right chest, and instead of a dragon, there is a flame on the belt. On the back, instead of a larger, more detailed dragon, there is a large lion with a flaming mane. Also, like Lloyd, he has no sleeves, and is probably going to get a tan line if he doesn't put some on his exposed yellow arms. The leg print is just bleh and very forgettable, not quite as memorable as Lloyd's. Also, like Lloyd, he wields two silver katanas, but due to his jet, he rarely uses them, but we'll get to that when we cover the builds. Now, let's go over the villains of the set. For the villains, we have a pair of Legacy Nindroid warriors, and can I just say, I'm happy they have the hood wrap. They look so boring without them. It's nice to see the whole Borg-esque eyepiece mixed with the old style of Ninjago ninja hood with the crest. Taking it off, we'll get a better look at the face print. The face print itself is pretty well detailed. One half has the artificial black skin with purple veins and an angry red eye. The other half of his face has the exposed metal beneath his skin. The alternate face has the same expression, but with the halves of the face switched, with the left side being now the right side. This does seem slightly lazy, but it does allow one to alternate their appearance and give them a little more variety between the different units if you want to mass them up as a sort of army. And just as a comparison, here are the Legacy face print and the original OG rebooted face print. Going down to the torso, the print is new for the Legacy wave. Here's a comparison to the earlier prints from the Day of the Departed and the original rebooted wave, and honestly, the torso print is much of an upgrade. It's pretty good. I like the exposed metal torso, but that they maintain the black robes with the buzzsaw logo of the Nindroid army on the back. Overall, it's pretty detailed, especially compared to the older ones, and is definitely useful in some regard. The two arms play to this design, as one is jet black, another has exposed silver and purple. In contrast to all this nice detail, his legs are just plain jet black, which is kind of weak, but I can understand since it's probably done to save costs. However, I will note that apparently earlier released Nindroids did have leg prints, so it is a bit of a downgrade. For weaponry, this Nindroid wields a pair of red katanas, similar to the heroes, but redder and more evil. Are they soaked with blood? Who knows? The other Nindroid is identical, with two exceptions. One being that he has the armored shoulders of the Sons of Garmadon wave in black, and having a far more intricate weapon, which is a bloodsaw bloody axe. That's just so cool and over the top to be enjoyable. Also, it does go in line with the Nindroids as a whole, as the Nindroids in the rebooted wave and the Day of the Departed, they used buzzsaws a lot. Now, unfortunately, I never got many of those sets due to, at that time, being more focused on construction, but it was overall pretty interesting to see. And this is a pretty complex weapons build compared to the rest of the minifigures, who all just use katanas in various colors. Now let's go over the builds. Firstly, on the villain side, there is this small turret, which is exclusive to the Legacy reimagining of the set. It wasn't in the original release. Apparently, to give the Ninjroids a better chance, they added this. Though let's be fair here, the set is still definitely one-sided. Also, apparently this turret must be run by some sort of AI, because there's no seat or stand for the Ninjroid to easily sit or stand on, so it must be automated to some extent or the other. On the top, there is a large singular spring-loaded missile shooter that shoots a red bolt. It's pretty flexible thanks to the robot arm, and it has a few little details on the top that you may not notice but do add a nice little flavor. The red katana, the sphere plate, the purple plate. It's negligible, but it is noticeable. There are some nice purple slopes on the base of the build, plus some red cones, and it does have this one sticker, which to some people seems to be negligible and really unnecessary, and I agree, it doesn't really affect the build, but I don't know, I just really like the Ninjroid Armory logo, and it looks cool. Beneath this, we see that this turret has 4 legs. These can be either put flat on the ground or raised up. It's presumable that the turret uses these legs to walk, and man, they're really shiny. I don't see chrome pieces in a lot of sets, but it is quite shiny compared to the regular gray we get. Hopefully it doesn't begin to fade, because I know that a lot of older chrome pieces have faded due to either errors in production or just general the effect of chrome coloration. Overall, this is a really good little build. It's not the focus of the set, but it does give the villain side something to actually pose a threat to the main build set, which we shall cover now. The main draw is the Kai Fighter. Let's start with the front, aka the cockpit, and then move our way back. The cockpit has a pair of swords sticking out the front, plus some nice slope pieces with fire stickers on either side, as well as some other nice little details that are really interesting and quite well done. The cockpit's window is a translucent black piece, which is molded in a fine manner. The cockpit is pretty basic, though. There's a pillow, which is a reprinted golden brick in white, a printed control piece, and I'm pretty sure is over 10 years old at this point, and this little orange piece that is pretty much just a hood ornament. On either side of the cockpit there are these 2 small wings with large stickers going in either direction. You know, when I first built this, I thought that it would split apart into like 2 different vehicles, but no. Going to the center, we see the actual function of the set. The main function, I should say. That being this. This plane can bend. Honestly, I don't really like this function. I mean, it just seems to be so, like, second place. But I know the LEGO group puts a lot of effort into all its sets. But I don't know. I just think that this function of the bend wasn't really all that impressive. Anyway, going up from there, we get a function that is more fun and has a bit more of a function. That being a pair of spring-loaded missiles launchers that shoot orange bullets as opposed to red, because actually I don't know why they shoot orange. Wouldn't red work better? Though then again, I guess the Ninjroids use dark red more, so they want to distinguish the 2 different shooters. It is kind of weird, though. On either side of the middle, there are these large engines that look cool, but really don't do anything. Their build is complex, I'll give them that, and they have some nice stickers, but overall, they really don't do anything, and you could probably leave the stickers off with no issue at all. The back of the build is pretty okay. It has an exhaust point. The wing builds are really well done with sword pieces and various slopes of different sizes and shapes. There's also these tail fins that have the lion design on them, and it's just adorable. I know that the stickers aren't liked by some people. I do agree that there are stickers in the set that seem unnecessary, but they do improve the set in some ways because otherwise it looks really bland. The overall build of the Kai Fighter is fine, but the main function is pretty much worthless. But yet the build itself was really enjoyable. Unlike the other sets, I can't compare this Legacy set with the original directly. I do not have this particular set, and I really don't have many rebooted sets at all. In fact, the only reason I even have an original Nindroid is because when I went to 2019's Comic Con before the COVID-19 epidemic, I just found this random Nindroid on the floor, and I have no idea where it came from. Somebody probably dropped it. But yeah, so really, I can't compare it, but I will say, based on photos I've seen, I think it's safe to say the Legacy build is far more complex and well done, though I'm not sure if the function is. The leftover pieces are nothing to write about, but overall, how was this set? The minifigures are good reimaginings of older figures. The heroes are fine. The Nindroids are great. And I have to say that they are some of the best Nindroids I've ever seen. The villain's turret is a nice build and a fine addition to the legacy reimagining of the set, but it isn't all that much to write home about despite my gushing over it. The main build is good. However, I will say that I found the main function to be pretty weak. Buy this set if you want to get your kids something nice, but you might want to wait for a price drop. I'm the Dark Master, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more LEGO reviews. Have a nice day.